में थोड़ा सा साइड में हो जाओ यार।
दादा
एक मिनट थोड़ा पीछे आओ। एक मिनट विद्या जी।
Let them take the pictures. I don't want to be.
विद्या जी
यही पे
हाँ एक पिक्चर कर दो।
दादा
थोड़ा साइड में आ जाओ।
हाँ पाजी
राइट मैम या मैम स्ट्रेट है
मैम लेफ्ट
थैंक यू।
चलो ना बहुत टाइम हो जाएगा।
चलो नहीं तो ले लो अंदर ये
चलो हो गया
Vidya, we can go here as well. Lovely blouse. Damn cool. You spoke to them before the release?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. That's a bit much for me also. I speak very basic Tamil. Hi everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. That's embarrassing. Sorry. A very warm welcome to all of you, especially to Vidya Balan. Before we get to the task of unveiling the book, I just want to give Vidya a message from the ISRO women scientists.
Right.
Yeah, when I told them that we are going to be launching this book in Mumbai, they said, please tell her that we really appreciate her work and we think she's an amazing actress.
Oh wow, thank you. You
This
just
comes
made
from
my day.
Nandini Harinal
Thank
and
you.
our teachers.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we'll just unveil the book and then we'll start. Yeah, just stare it.
Yay!
Some noise, guys!
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'll just take a minute to tell you how I started writing this book and when and why. So like most people, I didn't have a clue about the Mars mission women scientists till I saw that picture, that iconic picture of all the women in the gajras and the Kanjivaram silks, and so that it just piqued my interest. And then in 2016, I went for a women's seminar organized by IWN because three of the scientists were slated speakers: Ritu Karidhar, Amrita and Minnie.
Okay.
So they spoke for about 45 minutes, and they were so fantastic that I thought this deserves a bigger story. I mean, it's a big story. They deserve for me to write a book. And they spoke not just of their work, but the way that they balance their their personal life and their families, their children. They juggle so many balls in the air, and they all do it without any fuss and feathers. So for me, that was the most significant part. One of them said, yeah, so in the day we work in the office and then we come back home and we work at night, and somewhere in between we look after our children and we send a rocket to space. So that was, it reminded me of the Tata Steel ad. We also make steel.
Right.
So that is how it started, and then it took a long time to get permission with ISRO. And then after about 4 months or so, I started the round of interviews. And I met a total of 21 women scientists in ISRO, and all the main Mangalyaan ones. And I really felt that these people perform such difficult and amazing tasks in very tight deadlines with very frugal budgets, and they do it without any fuss or feathers. So that is the principal aim of writing the book, and of course it was to inspire a whole younger generation of girls who've been told science is not for girls, or you'll get stopped and then there'll be a mommy track and then what will you do? So it's to tell all those people, don't listen to anyone who tries to stereotype you, just go for it. So that's what it was. And now if I could request Vidya to read a small excerpt from the book, which is actually very similar to the role what she did as a role of Tara Shinde.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I've written it down. It's just.
Do I
no,
need
this
a
is the
mic?
different
Is this mic?
Hello.
Yeah, that mic is fine. It's very similar, and then we'll have a small chat after that. So from here,
Here.
car journeys till here. Or
Okay.
you can stop before also if you like. Wherever you like, you can stop.
Okay. Firstly, congratulations on the launch of the book, and I think that picture really spurred a lot of people's imaginations, and you ended up writing a book. People ended up writing film scripts, and I've been part of the film, which is the reason I'm here today. So yeah, I now every time anyone asks me how are you, I say sab kushal mangal. So the magnificent women and their flying machines is what it's called.
This is Nandini's chapter.
Right, this is Nandini's chapter. Car journeys in, I haven't read it, so please bear with me in case I make some mistakes. Car journeys in Bengaluru can seem endless and exhausting. Sometimes they provide a glimpse into a person's innermost thoughts as conversations, like the traffic, take unexpected turns. I'm traveling in an Uber to Insight Academy in South Bengaluru, where Nandini Harinath has been invited to give a lecture to senior school students. This is part of an ISRO tradition. Suggested by former URSC director T.K. Alex to all senior scientists, urging them to go back to their hometowns and schools and talk to the children about what they do as space scientists. It is Bengaluru-born Nandini's turn today. The slender, spectacled scientist is impeccably dressed in a blue printed silk saree with earrings to match, a small bindi, and a mangal sutra around her neck. As we pass a temple en route, she remembers the evening before D-Day, the Mars MOI, on 24th September 2014. Since Prime Minister Narendra Modi was scheduled to attend, they had sanitized the entire mission operations complex as ISTRAC and cordoned it off with dogs in place and everything locked down. We were told we could not leave the campus. Whoever was inside had to stay there till the next morning for security reasons. No one was allowed in either. We'd finished our work. There was no uplink to be done as everything had been done a week in advance. So after dinner and the last interview by the chairman K. Radhakrishnan, who cleared it, all we had to do was wait and watch. Around 9:30 p.m., our boss and mission director Keshavaraju, Ritu and I decided to go visit a temple nearby. We were wearing new badges that indicated we had been checked in. I asked the security person at the gate if we could go out for a few minutes. The three of us went to the Shiva temple nearby. It's a small roadside temple that I used to stop at and pray before all important events since it's on the way to Istrak. At 9:30 p.m., obviously the shutters were down, but it has this grill through which you can see the deity even from outside. So we all prayed and then quietly returned by 10 p.m., feeling happy and relieved. You mean God will take care? I ask. Yes, she responds. On all important days, I have a few such rituals. I wear clothes that are given by my husband or my parents. I visit this temple on the way. I was once traveling with Keshavaraju and Mom Project Director S. Arunan on one such important day, and I was wondering how to tell them that I wanted to halt at the temple. As we came near the junction, I asked them if I could stop for 5 minutes to pray. They said, we will also come with you. So all of us got down and prayed. The normal image of scientists is that they aren't religious. Well, it is one thing to believe in God and that there is somebody who is above all of us. It is another to be superstitious. We don't believe in superstitions.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah?
That's right.
Oh, that's perfect. What a lovely excerpt. Because, like you rightly said, it's very similar to my character's belief system in the film.
Yeah. So, was it modeled on any particular scientist or it's an amalgamation?
No, it's an amalgamation. I think Jagan Shakti, the director, spoke to about 30, 40 scientists there. And then I think they just decided to fictionalize the lives of these women because obviously they didn't want to, you know, it's about the mission.
Yeah.
The personal lives were, you know, I think are sacred, which they didn't want to get into. So which is why they fictionalized it, and maybe there are, just so happens, maybe these things are things that, you know, she shared, or, you know, different scientists must have shared different things that inspired him to put it into the script, but none of us was told to follow a particular scientist.
That's very nice because it's exactly almost what you do in the film.
Right,
You know,
right.
you do the puja and then the
It actually exactly feels like me. I would do that, you know,
exactly.
including wearing a saree given to me by Siddharth or my parents. So it felt like maybe I was just, you know, fated to play this.
Yes, that's wonderful, and you really carry the film on your shoulders.
Thank
I
you.
totally believe that. See, a book tells a story, but a film takes it much wider to a much larger audience. And I think the film has done a lot to popularize science. So was this like an intentional thing, or is it a happy byproduct?
It is a happy byproduct, but it is one that we were hoping would happen. So I don't think it was really intended to make science popular, but the reason behind simplifying the science was so that, you know, people who weren't familiar with scientific concepts or, you know, technical terms would also get it. And then maybe we were hoping that kids would go and watch it, and that kids would, and it's amazing, Minnie, that there are so many people who are reaching out to me and saying, you know, my kids watched the film and they loved it. And I've got voice messages from kids. I've got pictures of kids. There was one kid who made a rocket with Lego blocks. There was another who made just a rocket model with cardboard, you know. And then there are these, my nephew said to me, he said, I want to be an astronaut or a space scientist. And I was surprised because he's always wanted to be a cricketer or a musician. So it's a complete, you know, the power of the movies, it's just amazing. I don't know how long it will last, but at least they think that science is now cool.
Yes.
I think that's what happens with watching a film, if it turns out okay.
No, when I went to see it, there were children in the front row and they were all, you know, seeing it really carefully. At the end, we asked a 10-year-old boy, so did you like it? He said, yes, I like the moments.
Oh, really?
I understand the science, I like the moments. So,
I love that.
Yeah, so I think it's going to go a long way to popularize. But speaking of science, did you find it hard to, you know, come to terms with the scientific
Oh, absolutely. I don't have a scientific bent of mind
Me
at all.
Me neither.
I don't believe that.
No,
because
no,
I read a little bit of the book.
No.
I'm sorry, but I've been so caught up with, you know, so I didn't get a chance to read the entire book. I will do
please,
it now.
thank you.
Now
Thank
that Mangal is